Hi, this is the About Us section, and I think what we're going to do is just go back to 2001 when Lawrence and I first met and joined a major life insurance company. You remember those days, Lawrence?
Granted, it was very much like the multi-level marketing industry of that day. Flashy suits, big venues, finger foods, PowerPoint presentations, and promises of big income.
A lot of rah-rah.
A lot of rah-rah out there at that time. I remember us phoning from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, only to hear the famous words,
I'm not interested.
Not interested. We banged our heads for 2 years. After that, of course, we came up with the idea of targeting the banks and the bank's customers. I mean, they had the money.
Yeah, the good days were at the life company. We did get or pay our school fees there. Moving to the bank, though, it was a better type of client, a lot easier to get to that client. But we found that we were doing a lot of financial planning work and not a lot of sales at that stage.
Well, granted, Brendan would bring the information back to me. I'd sit down, bang it all into the computer. 5 hours later, spit out a financial plan, bring it back to the client, and he still wouldn't buy.
Yeah, I think it slowly developed that there was a need for information rather than product sales. And while we did make a very decent living there at that stage, we did realise that the power was in information sharing, not so much the product sales.
Towards the end of our career with the bank, we set up a retirement seminar, which took off full steam. It actually made the bank sit up and notice, but like banks normally do, they hijacked a whole presentation from us.
Yeah, and I think it was at that stage that we actually realised it was time for the two of us to get out on our own. And I remember the day that we decided that, it was over a few beers, and we took the 20-odd clients that we had forged close relationships with, and we headed off on our own.
Well, let me just take you a little bit back there.
A second.
On that Saturday, over a few beers, we had, I think, about 150 plus files lying in front of us, and we had to make a decision who was customers and who weren't. And as we eliminated the clients, we eventually got down to about 20 people with whom we had regular contact and whom we could pick up a telephone with or make contact with. And that was a big eye-opener for the two of us.
No, it wasn't. Since that day, about 3.5, 4 years ago, we've been able to grow the business steadily, adding a lot of different services, building the clientele, but never stepping away from what we've always wanted to do, and that is provide professional advice and speedy service delivery.
I think that basically sums up what we're about.
I think in the next clip we'll just discuss business philosophy and a little bit about the life industry as it is at the moment, so stay tuned. Hi Lawrence, we're back. I think in this segment we're going to be discussing our business philosophy. We'll also be looking quite closely at the financial services industry as it stands at the moment. I think the biggest gripe with most consumers out there is that they feel that they've been sold once they allow a broker through their door. Merely a commodity and a product that's been sold, and simply no after-sales service, and a lot of times inappropriate advice.
Well, you're 100% correct there, Brendan. It's always been an industry where the broker goes out, makes a quick sale, and he disappears from the scene. No wonder the client has actually moved or considers us to be people who just sell products. Right? We don't offer any other value. We're not like doctors, like lawyers. And I think a further problem that the client has is that how does he make a decision? How can he trust this particular individual who's walked through his front gate and up his garden path and knocking on his door? How does he decide that this is the person, regardless of what his credentials are, this is the person who is going to call on me every month for the next 20 years of my life? How does he make that decision?
I think it's a very good point, because we're not selling fridges and we're not selling vehicles here. We are selling financial products that do have an impact, and a lot of the times these are products that you need to hang on for 20 to 30 years to be able to see any type of benefit out of them. I mean, let's look at a traditional retirement annuity, for example. It takes 20 minutes to sign the papers, but you end up with a plan that you need to hang on for 25 years. Has that specific broker signed a mandate saying that he's going to continue to look after that portfolio for you over the next 20 years?
Well, granted, he could have said that he'd sign a mandate, but will he actually look after you?
Sure.
And that's a particular problem that we face in our industry, is getting across to the consumer out there why it is that we are different than anyone else out there. It's a common problem in our industry. We sit with a society nowadays that is very materialistic and selfish. People would rather invest their money into their lifestyle than spend an extra 200-300 rand ensuring their dependents' futures let's say, for instance, insurance as an option.
Well, it's an instant lifestyle that we're living in nowadays. I mean, it's instant gratification, instant coffee, instant internet access, instant web access. So I think the days of mulling over certain things have gone. Our time constraints, are here now. Pressures are here, and while we're wanting to look after our financial planning, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to find the time.
Well, you're completely correct in what you're saying there, Brendan. Most people nowadays are suffering from attention deficit. I mean, they walk into the office in the morning, the first thing they do is they open up Outlook and they're bombarded with 52 different messages. Then throughout the day they have notification of incoming mail, and what's the normal choice? People become addicted to opening the emails. People become addicted to their cell phones. How many people are actually focusing 100% on their job in an 8-hour day? And I would gather 90-95% of people aren't focused on their work throughout the day. Now when it comes to their personal lives, this carries through from their work environment into their personal lives. How many people are actually monitoring on a yearly basis the risks that they are facing or that their families are facing should they pass away?
Sure. And what would you say would be inherently different about our service offering? I mean, we have been in the game long enough to know that it's definitely much a trust-based and a relationship-based environment that wins the client over. Professional advice and speedy service delivery, and I think importantly now what we're going to embark on now is offering the information.
Granted, I think we've proven it to ourselves that the only way we can keep clients and look after our clients is by monthly feedback with them. We contact our clients regularly. We give them information updates on a continual basis. But this is not a sales blurb for the guys out there.
Yeah.
What this really has proven to us is that if you don't keep contact, you don't build that relationship of trust up with your client. And only once your client trusts you will you open up with the most intimate information regarding his financial situation. People won't tell you their true fears on a first or a second meeting, or even possibly after the third or fourth month of knowing you. But as you start to feed them information, as you start to educate these people, you find that they open up to you and they allow you to actually assist them. And I think that's where we're wanting to make a difference with our website, is we're wanting to let people, or train people, educate people, give you the information for free. How many other financial planning institutions are giving the information for free on their websites? It's normally all about us.
Granted. I think what we'll do is wrap up this clip now, and in the next clip we'll actually have a look at exactly how we're going to go about providing that information to people that land on the site.
Good.
Thanks.
So what can you expect from this website? Well, we've aimed to make this whole website very content rich. You're going to find subjects so diverse such as estate planning, succession planning, investment planning, retirement planning, short-term insurance, medical aids, commercial short-term insurance. You name it, you're going to find it on this website.
What we've also wanted to do is take specific topics of interest like retirement planning, will drafting, etc., and actually do video clips on those in bite-sized pieces that you can digest. We've also developed a email opt-in subscription to mini courses. Every week you will receive an additional piece of copy from last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Granted. Well, there will be a course on each subject. So for instance, in estate planning, we'll have a 12 or 13 part mini course, and at the end of the mini course you'll be able to, or you'll have a rough idea of what is involved in estate planning. So when the next broker comes around to your house, you can assess whether he actually knows what he's talking about.
We are building in a frequently asked questions section on the website, so we'll be able to have a look at those questions for you, as well as you're able to actually post your questions online, if I'm not mistaken.
Granted, yes. Any questions that you might have, post them online and we'll get back to you with an answer.
And then I think what we wanted to do is just obviously develop the site further and further. We're busy writing for a lot of publications at the moment. We'll let you know as soon as those articles hit those publications and hit the shelves, and continue just to add value and add content and be of service.
More importantly, this whole website is focused on you. It's all about you, all about what you're interested in, all about your needs and not about our needs.
I think in ending, we'd like to thank you right now for spending the last 5-10 minutes with us, and hope to hear from you soon. Thanks, Lawrence.
Thank you.